All right. Good morning. We'll just wait here a few minutes for folks to join us before we get started. In the meantime, I do have the risk disclosure up, and you can peruse that in the meantime, and we'll get started with the session here in a couple of minutes. Good morning, Larry. Good morning, Sepadia. Good morning, Paula. Yeah, generally, I would say that 90 to 95 of my trades actually happen after 10 a.m. 10 a.m. EST. I start looking at gold. I start looking at gold as early as 9:30. Okay, so yes, I generally do that, unless I see you know uh, a really good opportunity. Right. So again, the initial balance range is there for a reason, is to establish the market. And I just need to let the market play out and identify the levels. And then once the levels are established, then and only then do I look for opportunities. Okay. I find that trading during is opening myself up to a potential chop. Now, there's always markets, right, that you wish that you got in right away. Like yesterday's NASDAQ um, would have been a fantastic opportunity to the short side. Okay, right from the word go. But again, those opportunities are few and far between, and we're not, again, we're not here necessarily for the lotto ticket, right? We're here to consistently, knock in base hits, right? So, and I find that, historically, that I found have had more success by waiting for initial balance. I mean, there's always exceptions to the rule, but that's generally the case. Okay. All right. But good question. I mean, I know that a number of you do a little bit of pre-market. I on occasion will dabble if I'm around or whatever. I may dabble in an overnight trade, especially if we get into a good level. But those are trades are they have to be at a very good level, right? They have to be a very very good level yesterday, right? Now, Frizo, I'm kind of confused because NQ provided, and I think we were discussed this in the room. We had discussed the opportunity for a potential short if it managed to stay below value. So I'm not exactly sure what happened there. But in any case, that's not here or there. But yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think some of the I think Top Step TV folks were also trying to go long. So in any case, it's neither here nor there. The idea here, Frizu, and this is for everyone, right? I mean, I think the idea is that we want to learn, right? We want to learn from it, apply some of that learning to our new day, and again, it's one of those things that it's best if the trade ideas come from you, right? And that are 100% aligned with your views and analysis of the market, because trading somebody else's context is not always the easiest, and you kind of compromise your ability to trade that because you don't share the same conviction or you don't share the same analysis in some cases, and it doesn't allow you to hold a trade for all too long, or you get out for reasons that are not process related, right? Yeah, absolutely. We're all here to learn, and like I said, we all need to have a growth mindset. We have our setbacks, but the most important thing is that we need to wash it away. All right. We can't let what happened yesterday affect the way we make decisions. Okay. All right. With that said, guys, so I just before we get started here, I'm obviously, as you know, trying to build my space right now. I guess the next logical milestone for me is to get to 400 subscribers. Right now, I'm at 392, and I know that a number of you already on this list are subscribers to this, and I very much appreciate that. Okay, so my next logical goal is to get to 400. And continue to grow the portal. So I'm always open and interested to understand, the kinds of videos that you'd like to see of me. So yeah, don't hesitate to kind of post those either here or other locations, in the coach's room or what have you. If there's different kind of content, or there's some things that you would like me to specifically speak on, yeah, I'm as a content provider, that's exactly what I need to be seeking of you. Okay. But I also want to thank those of you who got me to 392 some odd subscribers. Okay. All right. Thank you, Frizio. I appreciate that. All right. So again, I do have the risk disclosure up, guys. Just to let you know that I'm not here in any sort of investment advisory capacity. I'm here. The information that I'm about to provide you is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided or contained herein is intended as investment advice. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk and is not for every investor, and that we should be only using risk capital that we can otherwise afford to lose and not affect our financial security or lifestyle. Okay. Um, again, the idea here is I'm not here to solicit, to offer, to buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not indicative of future results. I appreciate that, Larry. I do put a lot of work into this, and I do. It's how we say, it's knowing that I'm helping others actually is a very important aspect of my existence, right? So it's good to know that you feel that way, and I do appreciate you in supporting me along the way. All right. All right, so let's move on, guys, and let's take a look at the financial news here. All right. And what I'm going to be taking a look at first is financials. Now, normally today we would have the crude oil report, but because of the holidays, all right, that has been pushed off to tomorrow. Okay. So for those who normally trade crude, Wednesdays is what we call inventory. Okay. It's kind of like a weekly FOMC meeting where they check whether there was whether there's a surplus in the market, or whether there was a deficit in the market or inventory wise in crude oil. And that often causes the market to to really, in some cases, move. Okay. So it's the equivalent of, I would say, I think the closest thing that I can kind of compare this to would be the inventory report for, not inventory, but the interest rates or FOMC, things that reports like that for the equity markets. All right. So we have the trade balance report that came out. Looks like it came out positive. We have the JOLTS job opening report coming in at 10 a.m. So that could potentially have an impact on the market as far as volatility. And then we have factory orders also coming in at 10. And we also, as you guys all know by now, we track the option expiration, European option expiration at 10 a.m. Eastern time as well. Okay. So not a whole lot of news, to be honest. We have just 3 items here, and one of which has already been reported. But when you deal with some of the markets we deal with, we're always open, impacted by news events that happen and impact, world, where world events have an impact on us, especially when it comes to crude oil, right? So those things are always, again, to be wary of. Okay. All right. So with that, let's move on to our first market. And I was kind of actually taking a peek at a different market. I was actually looking at crude oil here a little bit. It seems to be continue to be weak here. But let's go ahead and start with our normal market here. And thank you, man. I appreciate that as well. Yeah, I do take my one-on-one coaching very seriously, guys. And if anything, your confidence in me allows me to focus in on you as well. I want you to get as much benefit out of those sessions as I do giving them. Okay, so all right, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Let's see. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with the market that we normally start off with because it's already open, and that is the gold market. All right. And as we start with that every session, guys, we always start with our kind of a general, kind of view of exactly what direction is the market trying to go, right? Is okay. And we do that by looking at candles. We're looking at the slopes of the candles and things of that nature, right? So if you kind of expand this, I'm going to go ahead and remove some of these drawings. And again, this is kind of very important, just independent. I mean, if even turning off some of these indicators, right? Again, sometimes it's very important to kind of keep things as simple as we can. Sometimes, as you guys might imagine, we work very hard to find indicators that'll make the decision for us. But I think we do ourselves a service by trying to keep it simple, right? And what I mean by that is, well, simply, what direction is the market moving, right? Nothing more. What is the direction? We don't read into wicks or anything like that, right? What is the general direction of the market? Okay. Well, the general direction of this market on the daily chart, okay, is up. Okay. There's no two ways about it, right? I mean, we do have some candles here of late. They've been more of the bearish variety, right? But there's nothing here, all right, that indicates that we are in a steady decline. Okay. We haven't really made. I mean, we've poked, we've prodded, we've tested, but we haven't really broken any sort of structure here to the downside. Okay. So again, market on the daily still remains bullish. All right. Looking at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. Okay, we have here is the a series. Okay, looking at the 4-hour chart, I mean, I guess you can make a case here that we're making maybe a slight double bottom. I guess you can think of this as a double bottom, especially if this current candle closes as bullish, maybe even as a strong bullish. Then I think you can certainly make a case that we might be making a double bottom and looking at other opportunities where we made a similar kind of movement. What followed? Right? Again, we don't know exactly whether this is going to happen in this case, but it's going to be important to see whether this current candle closes bullish. And the more we can kind of chew into this bearish candle, the more likely that this could potentially lead to a move higher. Okay. Something else that I'm going to be looking at and maybe drawing for myself to kind of keep me on the right side of this market is looking at something like this, right? Where I'm looking at, I might actually even incline this a little bit like this, right? Where I'm getting a little further touches here, okay? But in order for me to really participate in the long on this chart, right, I need to see a break of structure. I need to see a break of resistance. Okay, so anything above 25.32, anything above 25.25 could, start to get me to think that this might be a market that I want to participate to the long side. Okay. All right. Looking at the 30-minute chart. Okay. 30-minute chart. Okay. Now this is where I start to open up some of my levels here. Right. These are where we have settlement price. This is where I would open up my. Let's see if I can find it now. Oh, that's not it. That's ADX. All right, my volume delta. Okay, this is where I start to start to do some volume analysis. Okay, on whatever move that we are that's currently in flight. Okay, and draw in our fixed range volume profile. This is kind of our first, I guess, our second official full day. All right, so we're going to go ahead and locate the opening 830 bar, okay, and drag that across to the 430 bar. All right, here we are, okay, and we're kind of at the, so I'm gonna go ahead and extend this line here, and then we're gonna go ahead and capture our levels, okay, so this is gonna be in blue, okay, so we did get it, looks like we did get a close above and kind of, I guess, have moved away a little bit from settlement price, okay. So let's go ahead and capture our levels, which I've captured for this market already. Okay, kind of helps expedite this review as well. Okay, so at the end of the day, we want to, be able to trade the markets. All right, so here are our levels. I'm just going to kind of spot check some of these things. So we're going to go ahead and open up ADR. Okay, there are ADR levels. Looks like we've reacted off of ADR here in overnight trading. We had a nice, I guess, short that developed in the overnight. I'm going to go ahead and draw in my anchored VWAP, which I believe we broke into the upside. Okay. So again, this might be something that would look at. Okay, I got a couple of things indicating to me that maybe there might be some more upside to this market. We've come to settlement price, which is again one of these targets that we look at, right? This is an area. Let's see. This is an area that that often provides us reversals in price, right? Targets. We use settlement price as targets for our trades. Okay. All right, so let's spot check some of these levels here, guys. So we have value area high coming in at 25.21. Okay, .3. Okay, we got value area low coming in at 25.08. Value area low, yes. We got point of control coming in at 25.13.10. Okay, and then we have settlement at 25.23. Okay. Only the next thing I'd like to be able to do here is I'm going to go ahead and open up initial balance. Okay, we have a relatively small initial balance range. Okay, so it's assuming that we do end up getting a relatively small initial balance range, that could lead us to some potential initiative price action in one direction. I'm going to be paying more attention, assuming that we can keep a relatively small range. Okay. What's small? Well, historically, we can look at all the initial balance ranges, right, and look at them, right. So the more narrow the range, the more likely we have of getting a initiative price away from this area that's going to be sustained. Okay. So looking at this right now, we're inside initial balance. Well, not inside initial balance. We're inside value. All right. We're inside value from right here, right? Inside value area high, which could lead us to a rotation through value. Okay. We have, and this could offer us a nice rotation through value. Now, the thing that's kind of causing me pause here a little bit is the fact that we are above some of these, VWAPs, right? We have the daily VWAP, price is above. We have the anchor VWAP, which price is above. So that seems to be counter to what we're kind of seeing currently as maybe some potential of price to continue and traverse through the entire range of value. All right. Let's see. The next thing I want to pull up here is the average session range. So go ahead and pull that up. Okay, so we have 2536 on the top side. We have 2513.7 on the bottom side. So all the levels seem to be in order. Okay, the levels that I've captured here. So right now, again, I think the more natural thing to look for, okay, is to look for a further extension to the downside to kind of pick up where London has kind of tried to take this market. Okay, we've come back, to probably pretty good retracement of this swing. Okay, back to a settlement price. So I mean, if we wanted to, look for a short in this market, that seems to be potentially in the cards. I would say that your stop would need to be somewhere above initial balance high. Okay, for a rotation through value. Excuse me. Um, all right. So that's kind of the initial thing that I'm seeing in the gold market. Okay. Um, Looks like there might be a short developing in this market. All right. Now, if we can get a close below the daily VWAP, a close below, that actually would add more evidence to this. Okay. The fact that we are above this ASR and above this daily VWAP is kind of causing me to hit the pause. Well, I was more focused on the London Frizu. Okay, so I was trying to start with London. This is kind of this time over here is into London, but not at the start of London, right? This is kind of where the start of London took place over this kind of time frame. So either one, Frizu, the thing is this one, unless this is coming off of something that I'm not seeing, okay, on the left, right? Some prior demand zone. I easily make a case that you should create a anchored VWAP below here, okay, something along those lines, right? But in both cases, whether you choose above or below, price is above it, okay, and as long as price remains above it, then I'm kind of wondering about whether there might be some buyers potentially stepping in here. Okay, notice that price is not congruent with what we're seeing in volume, right? So we're not seeing sell orders here at the moment, right? The pace, the orders that are coming in are to the buy side. Okay, so I'd like to see, so there's a number of things that are not, how we say, um, it doesn't add up at the moment. Okay, it doesn't add up 100%, right? We're in value that should lead us to rotate through value, but volume does not seem to be 100% in agreement with that at the moment. All right, okay. I think that's pretty much what I wanted to say in gold. Let's go ahead and move on to the crude oil market. Okay, let's go ahead and locate that one here. Just kind of I was looking at a potential overnight trade last night at long. Okay, in crude oil. So let's see here. All right, so let's turn off some of our levels here. And again, we'll again look at this as holistically as we can. Okay. and that is, all right, just turning everything off here. And we'll go ahead and start with the daily and ask ourselves the question, okay, what is the market trying to accomplish? Well, you can see of late that the market has been bearish, right? Just by the very slope of this line, you could see that the market has been bearish of late. So since the market has been bearish of late, well, we should be looking for a good location to support a short. Okay. Now the thing with this is right now is that we are on the low end of the range, right? So if we're going to go short, we're paying a premium for that short. Okay. We would be much better served in having price rally a bit. Okay. And then have us participate in say 72. Okay. 72 would be a reasonable on this chart here daily, right? What was prior support becomes resistant, and look for an opportunity that there, right? You see even over here, right? Push down, pull back a bit, and then continue to extend lower. So I would say that right now, while we're bullish but bearish, we are a bit extended to one side. Okay. And since we are extended to one side, that's at least leading me to believe that maybe there is a pullback of some sort in the future, near future, in the crude oil market. Okay. So market very much bearish in on the daily 4-hour chart. Okay. So again, attempts at moving higher are being met with sellers, right? There's doesn't seem to be all that much interest in seeing this market move. See, move to the upside. Like I said, I was kind of contemplating an overnight kind of long trade, right, in this market, just because it was I think as Hogue would say, it was cheap, relatively cheap comparison, right? A location wise, it was at an extreme, right? Low, right? And I thought there might be an opportunity to the upside in this market. All right. All right. However, looking at structure, okay, we're really not looking at bullish structure here, are we? The structure remains to the downside in this market. Okay. I'm trying to see if I can locate my parallel lines here. All right. Well, I'll find them at some point. Oh, there it is. Okay. Right. There's nothing here that indicates that we are seeing anything of significance to the bullish side, right? We continue to make newer lows and lower highs, lower lows, right? So until we start to break some structure in the opposite direction, our view and our opportunities should remain on the bearish side. Okay. 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. Okay, we started to get some inkling that maybe this push that we've been seeing to the downside has paused for a bit, right? Again, if I readjust my channels here, you can see here that we've broken to the upside. We came back and retested the top end of that again, and we have a rejection candle also coming off of this level. Okay, assuming that we can get a candle that is positive. Okay, something that is we could potentially be seeing a 3-bar reversal pattern being established here. Okay. So let's go ahead and open up our initial balance because the market has indeed opened. Okay. We're going to go ahead and capture our levels. Okay. We'll go ahead and capture those levels and add them here. All right. Paste. All right. Here are our levels. Okay. So let's do a spot check. let's see, this is 6. I'm trying to make sure I have the right day here. Let me remove some of these channels for now, especially the outer one. Okay, let's look at this. This is correct. All right, so let's double confirm what we have here. All right, so we have on the top side value area high. Okay, so let's go ahead and capture that. That's coming in at 70.77. 70.77. That's actually, looks like we're higher actually. 70.86 is value area high. Value area low is coming in at 70.10. Okay, so so right now for me is as long as price remains inside value, not super interested. But if we do get a break of currently what the initial balance low and also value area low, if we get a break below here, that could lead us to another move to the downside. Okay, we do have a candle that we seem to be getting more bullish orders at the moment than bearish orders. Okay, by volume delta. Okay, we are inside value. Okay, in this market, so as long as we stay inside value and inside initial balance, I would say that I'm not super interested in participating in this range. If we do get a definitive break outside, in this case the value area low, that could convince me to participate in the potential short in this market. That could take us back to the lows of the day. I'm going to go ahead in this particular case. I'm going to go ahead and this is the start of the draw my anchor VWAP back down at these levels. You can see that price is already below. Okay, so I would say that the market is looking a bit bearish. Okay, we've already kind of reacted off of ADR. Okay, I made a nice turn off of ADR here. I'm going to go ahead and open up ASR and just kind of double confirm these levels. We have 69.55. Let's see. Open this up here. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that this reads New York. It does. Okay. So here we are. So we need to adjust this a little bit. So we have average session range low at 69.55. Okay, 69.55 is kind of what I'm seeing as our average session range based on the open of the market. Okay, and then we have 71.11 as our average session range high. 71.11 as our average session range high. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at right now. I would say that as long as we stay below this anchor VWAP, then that could lead us to price continuing to fall. Okay, continue its bearish move. All right. If we continue to stay below anchor VWAP, we are obviously going to end up breaking the value area low and initial balance low, which will again add further evidence to this downside move. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm looking at in the crude oil. Just kind of taking a look and see if there's anybody have any questions on this market right now. It looks like it's kind of potentially priming. The only thing that's kind of causing me to pause here is the fact that we have volume delta. Look how the volume delta eventually is kind of causing this market to move. The delta is not aligned with what my expectation of the move is at the moment, right? So this is telling me that I should be looking for a bullish trade, okay, from IB lows and value area lows, okay. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing currently in the crude oil market. We'll go ahead and move on to the equities. All right, move on to the equity markets. We'll go ahead and start with the E-mini futures. Again, this was kind of another area I felt that maybe could provide a good springboard for maybe a short rally. Okay. I had drawn this dashed line to indicate that. It's kind of created a little bit of a triple bottom here, one, two, maybe more. Okay. That could provide maybe again another springboard for maybe some price to head higher today. But before we do anything along those lines, let's take a look at the daily chart. Let's see what the market is trying to tell us. Well, the market is trying to tell us that of late, that the market is trying to go down. Okay, the last few days, right, have been candles that we are leading to the downside. Okay, get some further context. Okay, we are above some of these some of these things that we care about. We're above our 233-day EMA. I always find it amazing how well this gives me a kind of we had a nice reversal here on Monday of August 5th. Okay, a reversal up. We got a break of structure. We stalled and now have kind of rallied back down. Okay. We could be in a much larger, it looks like it's kind of beginning to develop a little bit of a triangle pattern of some sort. Okay. Just gonna see if I can draw that in. Okay, so looks like it's developing some sort of symmetrical triangle pattern. Okay, in this market, right? So until it breaks, then the edges of this triangle are going to be of focus, right? So so that's kind of what I'm seeing on the daily chart, right? It seems like we're moving into some sort of consolidation range, and that seems what's in play at the moment. Okay, moving into the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart did make a new low. Okay, we have a new low in this market. We've come into an area where we could potentially get some. I drew this line for a reason. You can see here that this area was supportive. I don't know why I drew this in red. It was kind of late for me, but this is probably green. Okay, we've had this area, but it didn't really. We plowed through this area without much resistance. Okay, to the downside. Okay, so right now we're back at this level again, and we're starting to see some candles indicating that we could potentially see a rally. Okay, we have a bullish engulfing candle. Now I would say that the line in the sand that I would draw here is this area right here, 19,200 seems to be a area that we could potentially rally to. Okay, before we see any sort of move, if we don't get one right away. Okay, this is also hovering right around that value area, right, which we'll take a peek at next. Okay, so we'll look at the 30-minute chart and we can see that again, it's hovering around that value area. Okay, right, we have this value area low. Right now, we're currently below it. But if I'm not mistaken, in yesterday's session, what that provided was a nice location for a continuation move to the downside. Now, this to me, again, we're getting above this daily VWAP. If we do manage to close inside initial value, okay, if we do get price to close back inside value, we could see a rally. Now, what's causing me again pause here? I do see that we do have a brick wall above us. Okay, at 19,008 settlement price, right? So this could rally to settlement and then continue its move down. All right. So that's kind of what's causing me to pause here. It's not a clear long here, right? Given that we have settlement price and just above us. All right. So let's go ahead and open up our levels here. So we're going to go ahead and capture those here. Okay. Here are our levels that we're tracking. All right. So again, double confirming some of these levels. We have value area high at 19,000. Well, I had a 232, 19,000 looks like 236 to me. Okay. 236 is kind of the value area high. Okay. Value area low coming in at 18,933. Okay, well, that's close enough. We have point of control at 19,162 when you have settlement at 19,006. Okay, 19,006. And that's really what's causing me a little bit of pause to any sort of bullish price action we could expect to see in this market. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's see. I'm trying to figure out exactly where to put my anchored VWAP. I'm not really seeing anything definitively direction wise. I guess the natural one would be to go with something above here, and look to see if we do get a break of that. Okay, but that's going to be way above the market here, right? That's going to be close to this point of control, right? If I draw an anchor VWAP here, where that's not going to tell us much of anything. We've been kind of in this horizontal price action, really didn't get much in the way of a move in either direction here. So let's open up our ADR. We're close to our ADR. So we're definitely extended to the downside. Okay. So plenty of opportunity to the upside. Okay. In this market, as far as from a risk reward, we don't have to risk a whole lot, right, to participate in a long, right? We have some solid reference levels, ADR here, and I'm about to draw ASR. ASR is already present, but I'm gonna modify this to London time. Okay, since New York has not opened. Okay, so here are some levels. We have some logical levels here that could offer us a kind of a springboard for price to move away from. Okay, right now we're in this kind of range, so I'm not really interested in range, right? I want to see if price can get back inside value. That could maybe perk my interest to the long side. If I'm looking for short trades, then I would say maybe London's ASR high or settlement price could offer me a location for a continuation move to the downside. Okay, so not super excited about the location of this market. I think right now I would say if I had to err on one side, I would say that we probably should be looking for longs. Okay, in this market we have kind of a triple bottom that's been established here in this market. I do see that we can at least get up to settlement price and maybe as high as this ASR high before we see any sort of significant or a return of this market to the downside. Okay. I'm seeing that the volume delta seems to be aligned with a move to the downside, but I am seeing that there is a fair amount of wick to that little volume delta bar. That's also indicating that maybe there are people that are kind of nibbling to the long side here as well. All right. So I said, if I had to go any direction at the moment, guys, I would say that it would probably be to the long side. Okay. I do need to see price get above 18,894. Okay, in order to really embrace that. But the moment we get above 18,894, we're so close to the settlement price that kind of causes me that maybe we might see a push up to settlement and then a continuation to the downside. So I'm wait and see for me in the NASDAQ. I'm not really keen on any one direction just because of some reference levels that I care about and that are above me. All right. Okay. Let's see. Let's move on to the ES. Okay. Let's go ahead and open up the daily chart. Okay. Let's shut down some of these levels here, remove some of our drawings. Okay. And just get a real clean view of what the market is trying to accomplish. Okay. So this is, I would say that yesterday was our first, real definitive candle to the downside. Okay. We've had other candles prior to that, but we were, from start to finish down. Okay. And so far the day has opened in outside or below that range. Okay. Now from the daily, obviously you can see that there is still a fair amount of room to the downside in this market, right? We have a supply area above us. Okay, that's been reactive. We got a nice solid bearish engulfing. Okay, you're welcome, Frizu. We got a nice solid bearish engulfing candle, and now we have another candle that's developing bearish. Okay, a developing bearish. Okay, so yeah, I do see that we do have quite a bit of room to the downside in this market. All right. All right, let's move on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. Okay, again, we were kind of in range. We've broken that range to the downside. We have developed a bearish, not bearish, but a bullish engulfing candle. We haven't really been able to make a new low as of now. Okay, but we still remain below some of these levels that we care about. Go ahead and open up volume delta. Volume delta is telling us there's still a fair number of sell orders in this market. Okay. So again, we're kind of neutral from price perspective, but the volume, order volume, is still remains on the bearish side. Okay. Looking at the 30-minute chart. So 30-minute chart, we're going to go ahead and add our levels here. So we'll copy and paste those in. Okay. Okay, there we are. Okay, here are our levels that we care about. And we're just going to kind of spot check the levels here. Okay, just going to open this up as much as I can here. Okay, and still not lose what we're trying to capture here, levels. Okay. All right. So the first line, I guess, that's kind of drawing my attention is this value area low line. Okay. So price is well below value. Okay. This is if I had to compare between the NASDAQ and the ES, I would say that the NASDAQ is far more bullish, I guess, as far as a reference location than the ES. Okay. ES is I guess has extended further to the downside than where NASDAQ is currently. Okay. NASDAQ is currently a lot closer to value area low, which could provide us an opportunity to long side. But we are seeing something similar developing in the ES, but we have the settlement price in our way before we would ever reach value area low. Okay, so let's take a look and peek here. Check the levels. We have 56.29 as value area high. We have 55.52 as our value area low. We got 55.77 as our point of control. 55.41 as our settlement. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open that up. Right now, we remain above the average daily range. Okay. Again, could speak to maybe a potential move to the upside. I would say that we would need to get above 55.30. Okay, in order for that to take place. Okay. But I can't help to think, right, that I am seeing some structure to the downside here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just got rid of my levels here. What happened? Oh, that's beautiful. All right. There it is. Okay. Let's open up ASR. Let's open that up for London. Okay. Here we are. This is our London session ranges. Okay. Right now in the middle. Okay. We're below value. So again, we have to kind of think bearish in this market, guys, for now, until we start to break some levels to the upside. Okay. We are above ADR. We are above ASR. I'm not sure why I don't have VWAP. I'm kind of inclined to draw my anchor VWAP off the bottom here because if we establish a little bit of a double bottom here, so it looks like we are establishing a little area of demand. Okay, so as long as price does not kind of come into this area, then I would say that the market has a reasonable chance of heading higher. Okay. Certainly up to settlement price, maybe up to value area low before we see any sort of continuation move to the downside. Notice where the average session range is falling. In this case, London, right around this value area low. All right. So right now, I would say that I would be wanting to wait for an opportunity that maybe that gets us up to value area low. Okay. And look for a continuation move to the downside from there. Okay. That's kind of what that would be I would say my ideal location. All right. Not super keen on shorting at where it's at right now. I would like to see some sort of rally to one of these levels, settlement price, ASR high from London, or value area low to really embrace a short in this market. Okay. Otherwise, I might be considering maybe some scalps up to these levels, but I'm not super keen on that right now. Okay. I would say that I need to wait for some sort of rally and sell strength. Okay. All right. Let's see if there's anything else question wise. How come I didn't start? Okay. So I did my anchored VWAP. Trying to see if there's anything else I'm overlooking. Looks like I'm not. Initial balance is about to happen here in about 7 minutes, so we don't have to worry about that for now. Let's if there's no other questions, let's go ahead and move on to the Dow. Okay. All right, and we're going to do the same thing that we've done with all the other markets. We're going to remove our drawings. We're going to shut down some of our levels. Okay, and we're going to look for what the daily wants to tell us. Okay, and looking at the daily, all right, just going to open this up here. Okay, we've come into an area of, okay, again, very strong, one of our strongest moves to the downside in some time. Okay, we've come into an area where we could expect to see some buyers. So I think this level right here, 40,826, is going to be important for the buyers to hold. Otherwise, I think we have a reasonable chance to get down to below 40,000, okay, to 39,000 and change. Okay. So this area right here, I would say, is important for the buyers to hold. Okay. If we have any intention of heading higher here. Okay. Right. This area needs to hold. If we get a break below, then I would say that it opens the door for a move back down to 39,500. Maybe as low as 39,000. Okay. All right. 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart, we're starting to see a series. Well, it looks like we did get a new low in this market, right? A new low. Now we're rallying, okay, away from this area a little bit. We got one 4-hour candle, second 4-hour candle establishing here. So what would be a reasonable destination for this current price action we're seeing? Well, I would say that this prior area of support would be resistant for me. Okay, 40,330 seems to be a logical location for price to rally to before we see any sort of continuation move to the downside. Okay, again, markets are symmetrical, right? The major swing right now is to the downside. We could see a rally up to this level that was prior support and continue our move to the downside. All right, 30-minute chart. Okay, I don't have any levels established here, so we'll close out this session with a quick, kind of capture of the levels that we want or price levels we care about. Okay, so the first order of business is our ADR. So we're going to go ahead and capture our ADR levels. So we have, what was that? 41,230. Okay, 41,230 is our average daily range high. Okay. Let's see. We have, let's see if I can go ahead and open up ASR here. Okay, we have two ADRs. I don't need two of them. Where is ASR? Here it is. Okay, we're going to change this to London for now, since the market is not technically open. Okay. All right. We have the ASR ranges. So the ASR is falling right at the same level as ADR. Okay. It looks like I lost my. Okay. So we have ADR high coming in at 41,228. 41,228. Our ASR coming in at 41,124. This is going to change here in a minute, guys. So 124, that's our London ASR high. Then we have, we'll go ahead and open up value here and see where that places us. And here, and drag that across over to this location. Okay, so we have value area low coming in at 41,139. So that's VAL. Okay, is 41,239. Okay, is our value area low. Did I get that right? Just a 139. Sorry, 41,139. Okay, our value area high is coming in at 41,558. Okay, value area high 41,558. All right, let's see. Did I get that right? It's not 558. It's 528 maybe. Let's see. Wow, 515. Sorry, 515. Okay, we have settlement coming in at. Let's see if I can see that. 41,653 is our settlement price. 41,653 is settlement. 41,653. And let's see, we got ASR low, ADR low coming in at 40,816. 40,000 ADR low at 40,816. And our average session low coming in at 40,792. 40,792. Okay. All right. Let's see. Settlement point of control, I guess, is the next order of business here. We just looked like we just opened 41,198. 41,000. We got point of POC 41,198. Okay. It looks like we just had the market open here. So I'm going to go ahead and open up initial balance. Okay. We are hovering around settlement price. If we do manage, I would say a couple of hypos right now is I'm going to go ahead and draw my anchored VWAP here at the bottom. Okay. Feeling like this market wants to potentially rally, but it needs to get above settlement price. Okay. So we got both the anchor VWAP and the daily VWAP relatively at the same location here. If we do not manage to close above settlement, we could see a continuation move to the downside. Okay, from here. Okay, if we do manage to close above settlement price, then I would say that it opens the door for ASR high and value area low. Okay, but I'm going to wait to see and let the market kind of establish itself here a little bit, figure out what direction it wants to go. Let the initial balance range form. So we've kind of explored to the downside. Looks like that was met with some buyers. Have kind of stepped into this market. All right. So yeah, I would say that right now, I would say it's a little bit mixed. We have price above. Let's go ahead and open up volume delta here. Volume delta is bearish, but we do have a buying wick. Okay. So that indicates that we do have a fair number of buyers coming into this market. Okay. And yeah, so I would say that right now, if we do get price to close above settlement, that could lead us back up to value. All right. That's kind of my current view of the market. All right. So with that, guys, I think we'll go ahead and close. We got our levels. We're going to be waiting for our initial balance ranges to establish. So we'll call it a session. All right. And so I will be available as normal in the coaches room on the Top Step Discord server. We'll have our normal group coaching later this afternoon, unless some unforeseen circumstances. Otherwise, guys, I would recommend that we trade safely, we trade well, we wait for our levels, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys. So have a good day trading. And I'll see you in one of the two locations that I mentioned, either in the Discord server on Coach's Ray's room or at later today in group coaching. Okay. Until then, trade well, trade safe, trade like a market pro. All right, guys.